Are you ready for this? Starting in just a few months, airports worldwide are implementing changes that will completely transform how you travel. I'm talking about rule changes so significant that millions of travelers are going to walk into airports this year completely unprepared and face delays, extra fees, or even denied boarding. But here's the thing, if you know what's coming, you can actually use these changes to your advantage and travel smarter than ever before. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest airport rule changes of 2026 that every traveler needs to know about. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button below and stick around. Number 5 hits everyone in the wallet. The first major change hitting airports this year is something straight out of a sci-fi movie: mandatory biometric screening. Remember walking up to immigration, handing over your passport, and getting that satisfying stamp? Well, those days are officially ending. Starting in 2026, airports across the United States, Europe, and Asia are rolling out comprehensive facial recognition and fingerprint systems. This isn't just for international travel anymore. Domestic flights will use these systems too. Your face and fingerprints will replace traditional document checks for everything from bag drop to security screening to boarding gates. But here's what airlines won't tell you. There's often no way to opt out of these scans at many airports. If you're uncomfortable with facial recognition or have religious objections to being photographed, you'll be directed to manual verification lines. And these manual lines are expected to become much longer and slower once biometric systems become the primary method. In Europe, they're also implementing something called the Entry-Exit System, or EES, which will digitally record exactly when you enter and leave European Union countries. This creates a permanent digital footprint of all your European travels. So how do you prepare? First, make sure your passport photo is recent and clear. Old or damaged passport photos can cause recognition failures. Second, when you're at these systems, look directly at the camera, remove sunglasses and hats, and don't smile too broadly. The system works best with neutral expressions. And always carry your physical passport as backup, because technology fails more often than you'd expect. The second major change will hit you right in the wallet. Carry-on bag restrictions are getting much stricter and more expensive. If you thought airline fees were bad before, 2026 is about to change everything. Multiple airlines are introducing digital bag scanners at check-in counters that automatically measure and weigh your carry-on before you even get to the gate. These scanners are already being tested by several low-cost carriers, and they're incredibly precise. If your bag is even slightly oversized, you'll be charged immediately. No arguing with gate agents. But here's the real kicker. Some airlines are moving toward charging passengers for overhead bin space. Yes, you heard that right. The space above your seat that you've always assumed was free could soon cost you anywhere from $40 to $80 extra per flight. Even full-service airlines are quietly testing personal item-only fare options, which means anything larger than what fits under the seat in front of you will cost extra. This is being marketed as more efficient boarding, but let's be honest, it's all about generating additional revenue. Several airlines have also implemented strict 15-pound weight limits for carry-on bags, and they're actually enforcing these limits with digital scales at the gate. Here's how to stay ahead of this change. Invest in a structured personal item bag that meets the strictest airline dimensions, usually around 16 by 13 by 6 inches. Use compression cubes to maximize your packing space and always weigh your bag at home before leaving for the airport. Consider getting a small portable luggage scale. It's a $20 investment that could save you hundreds in fees. The third change is actually good news for once. Airport security is getting a major upgrade that will make your experience much faster and less stressful. TSA and European airport authorities are rolling out next-generation CT scanners throughout 2026. These advanced machines can create 3-dimensional images of everything in your bag, which means you won't need to remove laptops, tablets, or electronic devices anymore. Even better, the famous 3.4-ounce liquid rule is finally going away at airports with these new scanners. Several airports in the UK and Netherlands have already eliminated liquid restrictions entirely, and TSA is testing similar systems at major hubs like Atlanta, Denver, and Phoenix. When these systems are fully deployed, you'll be able to keep your toiletries, drinks, and electronics in your bag throughout the screening process. The new scanners can also detect materials inside shoes much more accurately, which means most travelers will be able to keep their footwear on during screening. No more hopping around on one foot trying to get your shoes back on while juggling your belongings. However, here's the important caveat. Not every airport will upgrade at the same pace. Smaller regional airports might not get these new systems until 2027 or later, so depending on where you're flying from, you might still need to follow the old liquid and electronics rules. My advice is to check the specific airports you'll be using before your trip. The TSA website and individual airport websites will indicate which locations have the new CT technology. Until every airport is upgraded, I still recommend following the traditional rules to avoid any confusion. The fourth major change is something that sounds convenient but comes with significant risks: digital passports and mobile boarding credentials. By the end of 2026, the US State Department will complete the rollout of next-generation electronic passports with enhanced chips that work seamlessly with biometric systems. More importantly, these new passports will support secure digital credentials that can be stored on your smartphone. Several major airlines, including Delta, United, and British Airways, are already testing systems where your phone essentially becomes your passport and boarding pass combined. The technology uses facial recognition to verify your identity, allowing you to move through check-in, security, and boarding without showing any physical documents. But here's the major risk that airlines don't emphasize enough. If you lose your phone or the battery dies during your trip, you could find yourself stranded without proof of citizenship. I've seen travelers stuck at international airports for hours trying to prove their identity when their digital credentials weren't accessible. The smart approach is to always carry your physical passport, even when using digital boarding systems. Keep printed or photographed copies of important documents stored in multiple locations: your phone, your carry-on bag, and even your checked luggage. Technology is fantastic until it fails at the worst possible moment. Also, make sure your phone is fully charged before heading to the airport and consider carrying a portable battery pack. The last thing you want is for your phone to die right before going through customs in a foreign country. The fifth and final major change is one that will affect your travel budget. Airports and airlines are implementing new passenger taxes and environmental charges that will make flying more expensive. Starting in 2026, you'll see these additional costs disguised as facility modernization fees, carbon offset charges, and green aviation levies. The UK has already confirmed increases to their air passenger duty tax, and several European Union countries are expected to follow with similar adjustments. In the United States, experts predict that airports will introduce infrastructure fees to fund biometric systems and security upgrades. These costs will be built directly into your ticket price, so you might not even realize you're paying more until you compare prices to previous years. The tricky part is that these fees are often added during the booking process, rather than advertised up front. A flight that initially appears to cost $300 might end up costing $350 after all taxes and fees are included. Here's how to minimize the impact on your travel budget. When comparing flight prices, always look at the final cost breakdown on the checkout page, not just the initial advertised fare. Consider getting an airline credit card that offers statement credits for travel expenses or fee reimbursements. Airport lounge access cards are also becoming more valuable because many include benefits like free checked bags, priority boarding, and travel delay insurance that can offset these new fees. Even if you only travel a few times per year, the savings from avoided fees can justify the annual card fee. Also, be strategic about when and where you book flights. Some airports are implementing these new charges faster than others, so flying from smaller regional airports might still be cheaper even after factoring in ground transportation costs. So there you have it, the 5 major airport rule changes that will reshape travel in 2026. From biometric facial scanning to stricter carry-on policies, from upgraded security systems to digital passports, and new fees that will increase the cost of flying. The travelers who thrive in 2026 won't be the ones who resist these changes. They'll be the ones who understand them and plan accordingly. While other passengers are standing in longer lines, paying surprise fees, and struggling with unfamiliar technology, you'll move through airports efficiently because you prepared for these changes in advance. The airline industry changes fast, and 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most transformative years in aviation history. But with the right knowledge and preparation, you can turn these challenges into advantages and adventure smarter than ever before. If this video helped you prepare for the changes ahead, please like the video. Make sure to subscribe for more travel tips and airport updates. Because in 2026, knowledge truly will be your boarding pass to stress-free travel. One last thing, YouTube thinks you will like the video linked on screen. Thanks for watching.